Hi, my name's Eric with Canine Heights Dog Training, a Metro Detroit dog training company. This is Gidget. We're going to go over the very basics of doing an e-collar introduction. It's important that the collar be snug so that it can make contact, especially during the introduction, but really anytime. We do not want it to be intermittent. What's going to happen is you're going to end up having a dog that's not feeling it, so you may adjust the level and then it comes back in contact, so it ends up actually being too high. That's not what we want. We want to be consistent and we want to be fair, and for that to happen they have to have a good gauge of what the stim is that they're getting. So the very first thing that we want to do is, starting at the lowest level, we want to find what we call their working level. So I'm actually going to engage this on constant, and we're looking for some type of reaction. I basically will engage it and slowly dial up. What we look for is a scratch for them to turn their head as if they heard something. Some dogs it's an ear. So I'm going to engage it at the lowest level, and I'm slowly dialing it up. So right there, she felt that. Good girl. So now what we're going to do, I have what I call a working level. I know she's feeling it, so I know I have contact. She may or may not respond to it if she's distracted. One thing that we don't want to do is associate any obedience commands with this at the beginning. We just want to teach them, good girl, what the pressure feels like at the lowest level possible, and then that they have the capacity to turn it off. How I do that is basically I'm going to let her go out and get distracted. As soon as she gets out ahead and there's tension on the leash, I'm going to engage and move away from her. And as soon as she comes back towards me and takes that pressure off, I'm going to mark that. You'll hear me say good. That's the very moment when I release the pressure. So it's pretty simple. I always want to move directly back away from the dog. I don't want to have them going in circles. I don't want to just stand there and have leash tension and she's standing there, I'm standing here. I want to help them out so that they actually realize, oh, if I move back towards my handler, the pressure goes away. Girl. Yeah. Yes. Good girls. Yes. Good girl. Yes. So as you can see, like, I couldn't get her to go out ahead of me, but she did kind of stall out. So I did apply tension. As soon as she moved towards me, good girl, I praised her up. As you can see, yes, this is a novel experience for her. You know, she's a little bit tentative, but she's wagging her tail. She's not shutting down. Good. I'm not even using it now, and she's breaking back towards me. That's the whole purpose of this. We don't want to add any expectation of any command. We just want them to be able to do the math in their head and learn how the system works. Yes. I may only do this exercise like during 1 or 2 sets. Some dogs pick up on it so quick that it doesn't work. They're not going to go out and get ahead of you, which is kind of the point. Gidget is a dog that if she's really jazzed up, sometimes, you know, is more than happy to pull on the collar. This can help teach, call it leash respect, but just learning not to pull. That anytime they feel that tension, instead of doing the natural opposition reflex where they push back against it, they move with it and come back to you. Good girl. I'm marking it and I'm rewarding her for doing the behavior. This isn't about, you know, being mean to the dog or really even correcting the dog. We're just letting them learn the process here. So we want to make sure to add that reward. Good. The next exercise that we work on is the heeling. So which side do they have Gidget on?
Left.
On the left. So basically, and this is a topic for another video, but when we're walking a dog, I want right here, this little small J of slack. That's what we want. For sure, if the dog's in the backyard, if you have them at the dog park or whatever you have going on, they can have a time where they're sniffing and doing all those things. If we're walking a dog, people say, how much should I let my dog sniff? You don't. Their nose is their most powerful sense. If they're sitting here sniffing, they're maybe just a few feet out ahead, you're not in their decision-making loop. At that point, if they come across something that's really good, they're going to be bolting up into the neighbor's begonias, they're going to be chasing a squirrel or something else. Don't look at it as being mean. It's about setting up the expectation that this is where you want them so that you can trust them. If you want to take them to the farmer's market, you want to go for a walk, you don't want them lunging towards other people or dogs, whether because they're aggressive or because they want to go get some playtime or some treats or some pets. So this is where I want the dog, because if they're even just this far out ahead, again, they're not thinking about what you have going on. I want them to kind of cue off what we're doing. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to start walking with Cricket. You're not Cricket. What we're going to do, I'm going to start walking with Gidget. As soon as she starts to get a little bit out ahead, I'm going to turn, and this is important, just 180 degrees, and then tap, 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 as opposed to the continuous pressure that I was just using. Tap, tap, tap. Good girl. The same goes if they stall out. Good girl. Yeah. Tap, tap, tap. Good girl. So the biggest thing is when you're walking the dog, you want to make sure to be consistent. If they get even a little bit out ahead, you want to make sure to do those exercises and turn away. You'll actually see in pretty much any training philosophy, they do the turnaways. The difference is that there's nothing meaningful to the dog that makes them not want to continue to go out ahead and have you turn away from them. They're going to keep doing it. There has to be a meaningful consequence if they keep going when you turn. As you can see from her reaction, it's not punitive, it's just a reminder like, hey, let's go this way. So be sure, I don't care if you're going back and forth the first session in front of your house, you want to make sure as soon as they start, good girl, to get out ahead, you turn away. If you walk a mile and half of that is with them out ahead of you, you're never going to get that consistent, nice close heel. Yes. Girl.